Caitlin Clark might make you want to lose every game, but not here, not in Minnesota.
Let's be clear. Who exactly did Cheryl Reeve think she was? She thought she could keep Caitlin Clark quiet, but Clark wasn't having it, and everything quickly unraveled for Reeve and the Minnesota Lynx. This was Clark's moment, her comeback against the WNBA's harshest critics, and everyone watched, breath held. It was a blistering July 14th, the kind of night Clark had envisioned forever. The Target Center was jam-packed with 19,000 fans, not for cool air, but for one name only, Caitlin Clark.
If you can, take a look at this. This is really cool. The Wolves shared this drone video from the game last week. As you can see,
this wasn't just another match. It was personal, a chance for revenge. And not just against any team, but the ones who pushed her aside, who left her off Team USA. That's right, Cheryl Reeve hadn't hidden her distaste for Caitlin Clark, and now it was Clark's time to flip the narrative. This wasn't simply a shot at a win. It was about dignity. Clark, famous for her deep range and fiery spirit, thrived when the pressure peaked. But this time, a deeper fire burned inside her.
Sides, we're going for as high as $2,000 for the front row for this game.
Caitlin walked onto the floor, like it was business as usual, but everything changed in a flash. The arena exploded, some roaring for Clark, others chanting hard for Reeve's Lynx. Then something unexpected. Cheryl Reeve appeared courtside, proudly wearing a bold shirt saying, "Black Girls Rock." The crowd buzzed with tension, whispers rippling through. Yet Clark didn't blink, locked in on the task ahead. While Reeve spoke through fashion, Caitlin would let her game speak, once that whistle echoed.
Boston and Uhas with the tip, and here's Kate.
Right from tip-off, the Lynx had one clear goal: shut Caitlin Clark down completely. Every time she got the ball, they swarmed her. Still, Clark, cool under pressure, kept the offense flowing, feeding teammates and keeping the tempo alive. Early on, she grabbed a steal and charged coast to coast for a smooth layup. The crowd roared. The Lynx clearly had a tough fight ahead, but they didn't back down. On the next play, Aaliyah Boston powered inside for a bucket, letting everyone know Minnesota came to battle.
How about that? To get by Cartman and Aaliyah Boston.
As the first quarter rolled on, the Lynx's defense tightened its chokehold on Clark, double-teaming her, bumping her, making every shot a war. The pressure was suffocating. Would Caitlin crack the code and break through this ruthless strategy? Or would Minnesota finally be the team to shut her out? The tension climbed fast, every second heavier than the last, and the game was just getting started.
On the right side of the floor, Carlton's just been a little strong on a layup. Heidemann got a hand on it.
Clark only scored 2 points, knocking down one of 4 attempts, but she wouldn't disappear. Even buried under heavy defense, she showed her genius, seeing passing lanes others couldn't, and firing dimes that lit up the court. 6 assists in 1 quarter told the real story. She wasn't backing down, just finding another way to strike.
Xander Lucini, some good length on the perimeter on Caitlin. That is a tough pass! And somehow she got...
The second quarter sparked into chaos when Cecilia Zandalasini nailed a flawless three-pointer, electrifying the Lynx fan base into a deafening frenzy.
From a sold-out Target Center. Zandalasini got it! 3-point shooting.
But Caitlin Clark wasn't going to let that slide. It hit her like a challenge. Watch this. She exploded toward the Lynx defense, ripping through with wicked passes and fearless drives. Aaliyah Boston and Nalissa Smith rose to the occasion, snatching boards and pounding inside. That energy lifted the fever when the game threatened to spiral. Clark answered back with a cold-blooded step-back triple, her first of the game. The crowd went berserk. Minnesota scrambled to adjust, focusing on Boston and Smith, and suddenly Clark had space. She found her flow, finishing the half with 7 points. Caitlin's leadership kept the fever alive, running the offense and reading the court like a maestro. By halftime, it was locked at 48-48. Despite Minnesota's offensive wave, Caitlin's grit kept Indiana firmly in the race. The crowd sensed it. Her big moment was close. With everything even, anticipation exploded. Minnesota came out fierce in the third, but Clark cut through it, finding Melissa Smith with a bullet pass. Basket counted. The Lynx grew visibly tense, unable to break her rhythm. Late in the third, trailing by 7, Caitlin drove hard and caught a tough foul from Cecilia Zandalasini. The refs let it slide. Still, Clark didn't flinch.
In studio.
What's up, Ari? Welcome to the studio, girl.
Caitlin.
The tension only skyrocketed as both sides played with fury. Clark had 7 in the third, but Indiana still trailed by 7 heading into the fourth. The Lynx were throwing everything at her, doubling, trapping, bumping, but nothing was settled. On the sideline, Reeve's nerves showed, her game plan wobbling, her confidence shaken as Clark gained steam. The fight was far from over.
Zandalasini grabbed.
And then Clark's reaction, she grabs her and she flings that off arm.
Reeve knew one thing. If Caitlin Clark exploded in the fourth, the lead could vanish in seconds. And explode she did. The final quarter became her canvas. Minnesota's once iron defense started cracking. First, Clark drilled a brutal step-back 3. Then she charged down court and let it fly, this one from nearly half court. The crowd erupted. Minnesota had no answers left. The Lynx defense fell apart. Doubling Clark left others wide open. She exploited it instantly. But dare to leave her free, she made them pay in full. 2 more threes, slicing defenders with killer crossovers. Then came the play that silenced everyone. A crossover so sharp, her defender rolled an ankle and crumpled. Clark didn't blink, just kept moving forward.
Bridget Carlton with 5 assists now to lead Minnesota.
Caitlin was electric, slipping past defenders like wind, every decision sharp and deadly. In minutes, she flipped the score, pulling Indiana ahead. The crowd, once mixed, chanted her name. Clark had taken over. Reeve was fuming. Her defense was in pieces, and Caitlin owned the court. Cameras caught Reeve whispering curses. She called timeout, desperate to adjust. But it was too late. Clark was unleashed. With the score tied at 71, time melting away, Clark held the ball like a weapon. She stared straight at Reeve, unbothered. Then she hit a screen, fed Aaliyah Boston perfectly, and Boston delivered the clutch layup. Momentum flipped.
Caitlin Clark, one thing she got is handles.
Final score, 81-74. Indiana walked away with a thrilling win. Clark ended with 17 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. But this wasn't about stats. It was redemption. This was Clark's message to the league. You can't stop me. Post-game, Reeve looked worn. She admitted her team tried everything, but when it mattered, they couldn't hold Caitlin back.
Fever with the ball. Clark passed up the long 3. Into Boston. Give the assist to Clark with the Boston finish.
We talked about it to open the...
Reeve gave Clark her due, calling her a rising power in the game. And make no mistake, Caitlin got her revenge. The doubters, the critics, the ones who tried to sideline her, she left them behind. This victory? It was just the prologue. What's next for Clark? Tell us what you think in the comments and hit like and subscribe for more drama-packed sports moments. We'll see you next time.